Today's topic, we're going to talk about something I like to call education. Education is something that we all know and love. From grade school to middle school to high school to college and beyond. Education is a process that never stops happening. But today there's a certain term called standardized testing. Now that's a big controversy in today's world. Why is this? Why are we so focused on standardized tests? Education is here so that we can prepare for a job. The purpose of education, in other words, is to prepare us for our future careers so that we actually know what we're talking about. I believe, in my opinion, that this has been lost along the way. You have your opinions, I have mine. I'm here to express my own. Now, education is something that I find near and dear to my heart. My mom's a teacher, my sister's a teacher, and I'm hoping to be a teacher one day. So many people view education as simply learning or teaching. What many people do not realize is that education is learning and teaching together. We all learn every day of our lives, and we all teach every day of our lives. There's so many different examples I could go with, and I'm actually going to give you one of my favorites. Education is simply taking a simple process to a more complex process and taking a complex process to a simple process. Now, what am I talking about exactly? When you take a simple process to a complex process, this is learning. Now, let's take one of my favorite childhood toys of all time, and I'm so upset my mom just got rid of them, and it's Legos. Now, when we think about Legos and we were little, we would just build things and we would have so much fun with it, and you would have all these different sections, and it was just so much fun to build. Now, let's take a pyramid for example. We go and we gather all of our Legos, like we gather our knowledge, and then we start connecting the pieces. Now, that's simply learning. We're gathering our knowledge and we start building. We start with something simple as just random facts, and we put it together and discover the processes of life, the processes of math, and different things like that. And you build up your pyramid. And that's learning. That's taking your simple process to a more complex one. Going from knowledge to processes. Now, what about the other one? Taking a complex process to a simple one. Well, that's just simply teaching. Let's stick with my Legos. I'm not kidding when they're my favorite. When we take our pyramid, we get so excited after it's built. Just like, yeah, we built this. Like, gotta show the world. Show mom, show dad, show your brother, show your sister, show your friends. So we show that to them, and the first question they ask us is, well, how'd you do that? That's where the teaching begins. You teach your siblings, your parents, your friends how you built it. Well, with pyramids, you start with 7 rows of Legos on the bottom, then you put 6, and you leave a little bit of space, and you go 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and there you go. And then you break it down, and you show them. So you're going from that complex picture, that big picture you have, and taking it apart, piece by piece, and going back to the original building blocks. So that you have all this process. Now here's the knowledge that I gathered to show it to you. That's simply education. Education's not about teaching a test. Yes, we need basics in biology, we need basics in math, we need all those things. But that's not career related. When we look at all the different things that we have to learn to have a simple career, we're not being taught in our core classes about how to use a cash register. Not the math that goes into it, but how to use a cash register, how to prepare different foods, how to prepare clothing, what matches this for when you're in a business setting. There's certain classes that do teach these things. Certain classes that teach us how to use a computer, how to use Excel, how to use it in a presentation, in PowerPoint, and all those different things. Such classes like our computer science classes, our desktop publishing, our agricultural science classes that teach us computer applications, how to speak publicly, small group communication, how to run a meeting, and so much more. And I actually want to be an agricultural science teacher because it does teach real life skills. And same thing with our family consumer science classes. Many people still associate it with homemaking. Through that, I learned how to promote and publicize a business or organization. I learned how to run a meeting still using the correct parliamentary procedure. I learned that in my agricultural science classes and in my family consumer science classes. I also learned about technology, new technology that happens every single day, things that we use all the time. But we don't learn that in math and science. While I did say we do need those things, in high school, we need to be focusing on the things that are going to prepare us for life. That's why family consumer science classes and agricultural science classes are called career and technology classes, because they prepare you for your career and for the technology that happens every single day. But what's your opinion on technology and education? Education is important to every single one of us. I've seen somebody drop out of high school, actually dropped out after the 8th grade, live on the street for a year, live in jail for a year, come out, get their GED, get a bachelor's in mathematics, get a master's in mathematics, and today is teaching at a college. And that person is my statistics teacher. And let me tell you, statistics has actually been one of my favorite classes. I never liked math. But because a teacher taught me real-world applications of this math, I understand it. I'm excited to learn and I apply it to my everyday life. That's teaching. When I can walk out of a class and go, I'm going to use that for the rest of my life. When I go around looking, I'm going, this, and this. Hey, I learned that in this class. I use selling techniques that I used in my agricultural science classes and marketing techniques that I use every day of my life. I've learned to market myself, how to sell myself, and sell other things. But that's the beauty of career and technology. That's what teaching is. But I ask again, what's your opinion of education? And tell me about a teacher or someone who's made a difference in your life. That's really taught you real world things that you're going to use every day. When you can have a teacher like that, it's a whole nother experience. You open new doors to your life. And it is something that you will enjoy for the rest of your life. I want to be an agricultural science teacher and an FFA advisor because of my FFA teachers and my agricultural science teachers and my family consumer science teachers, people that have taught me skills I'm going to use every day. So the question is, are you learning every day? Are you teaching every day? The statement, you learn something new every day, is more true than you'll ever know. When you learn every day, you gain knowledge. And you learn that you are human. We're not born perfect, we're not born knowing everything. But the important thing is to take what we learn and teach it. But then that brings up a very important concept. You teach by your actions. I've seen so many people go, oh, no one's watching me, no one's paying attention to me. But people are. People are always observing, always listening, and always seeing what move you're going to make next. People pay attention. If you lose at something and you throw a big hissy fit or you start bad-mouthing somebody, people are going to look at you and go, either that's the way I should be acting, or the way I shouldn't be acting. If you're a person of influence and you start acting like that, people learn to respect you less. People are always listening. The best statement that I ever heard was from my ag science teacher. She always said, God gave you 2 ears for a reason and 1 mouth for a reason, so that you listen more and talk less. Listening is the best tool that you will ever have in life. You have 2 ears, use them. You have 2 eyes, use them. You have 1 mouth. Think of the proportions. If you listen and observe more than you talk, you will always pick up on more, learn more, and be able to teach better. I hope you learned something today, and these are my words of wisdom.